Yeah,
A big snowfall of, what was that, 47 when we had that big snowfall?
Oh, that's when you and I were shacked up
that
at
was
Salem's.
about it. We got.
We came back on the
You
internet.
stayed overnight at Salem's, and I walked. Had to follow the tracks. To know
Yeah,
where the hell
yeah,
it
you
was.
could,
You
you
stayed
could,
at
you could
Salem's,
drive,
too.
you
No,
could
no.
drive down
Yes,
Broadway.
you did. You and I stayed at Salem's that night.
No, you did.
No, you did too.
Okay.
She talked about it all the time.
Yeah,
on
that was
the
a real
internet.
blizzard.
Yeah, 47.
Yeah. I remember walking in the middle of the street, middle
Broadway.
of Broadway.
Yeah.
Middle of Broadway, because you couldn't see.
couldn't
the
walk.
Snow was that
sidewalk
high.
or anything.
That time when we had that big snowfall, I remember over on Newhall Avenue, right off the corner of Newhall and Racine Avenue, was a big house, and we went over there to shovel some snow. You know, we asked people, "Would you like your shoveled, your sidewalk shoveled?" Yeah, and then so I shoveled this sidewalk. She lived on a corner, so it was a long sidewalk I had to do. And when I went up to the porch, and she says, "How much do I owe you?" I said, "You don't owe me anything." She said, "Well, how come?" I said, "You got that star in the window." She had a
Oh,
star
yeah.
in the window. I said, you got somebody in the service. You know, and she called a Freeman. He put that up and down Broadway.
Did he?
Yeah.
I believe it, yeah. Yeah.
He's not recording now, is he?
I don't know.
Yeah, I
he
think
is.
he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Did you get him?
Came close.
we're not talking.
We're not talking.
But I took John and Alicia throughout the city yesterday.
Uh-huh.
Showed them where we all started, and on the corner of Madison, you know, the big
Yeah.
Pucci's garden.
Right.
How we all lived upstairs, and where the Como was. You still have that the old building between Pucci's?
I sold that to the bank.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, that used to be the old Cox building. It used to
Yeah.
be a bicycle shop there when we were kids.
Well, there was a
And then-
saddlery, a guy.
And then, yeah,
And
and then
then
there was a
Cox the
grocery
plumber.
store, and then Cox went in there.
Well, Grandpa had the grocery store, didn't he?
No,
When I
No,
was,
no,
when
no.
I was a little girl, Grandpa had a grocery store.
Not that I know of.
no.
Mother used to work in the grocery store.
Well, that was the
that
old
was-
spaghetti house.
That was the old spaghetti house.
That's where
That
it
was the
started.
ice cream. He had ice cream over there
Oh, I
prior
thought
too.
that was down there on Madison Street, on St. Paul Avenue. He had a grocery store, I always heard, that he had, you know, and Mama and Aunt Mary worked in that store.
Yeah, no, that was on Main Street.
But that
Main
was the
Street in
spaghetti
Hartwell.
house.
Spaghetti house.
What they call it, spaghetti. And Tony had a tavern.
And Uncle Tony went to the tavern there, and Uncle Jifty and Uncle Tommy ran the bar downtown. Remember, we used to go and clean it. We used to clean it. Paul and I used to
Before we
clean
went
it.
to school in the morning.
Yeah, before we went
I had
to
to go
school.
clean the damn cuspidors.
Yeah, and
Swept the deck, and then Tony would come down and mop it up.
and then Uncle Tommy, if we took a Coke, he charged us a nickel. Uncle Tommy,
Oh,
he was.
He was a tight son
Oh, he
of a
was
bitch.
tighter.
He was
But Uncle Tony.
Tony and Jiffy give you in.
Yeah, if we wanted some money from Uncle Tony, we'd say, "Uncle Tony, can we have $10? What do you $10? He said, "Well, nice. I'll give you a $5." That's all we wanted.
Yeah.
A $5. We asked for 10. And, yeah, and we could get anything from Uncle Tony and
Uncle Tony
Uncle
was
Jifty.
always-
Oh yeah, Tony
Yeah.
was the
Sweetheart.
best of the bunch.
Yeah,
He was a
and
sweetheart.
when he went into the spaghetti house over there, he used to swear at the customers.
Oh yeah, greet him when he walked in.
Peyton used to come in there and says, "What are you kike? What are you doing over here?" And he used to stand at the bar, and if somebody paid for a drink, like a quarter for a drink or something like that, he'd take the quarter and he threw it at the cash register, and he always hit the slot. He was good at it.
I remember him, yeah. He was,
I remember as a kid, he used to play the accordion.
Yeah,
right,
Remember? And he played Sorrento.
that's
Every
right.
time I hear that song, Sorrento, I think it's Tony.
yeah, he played. Yeah.
And who was it always who played Benny's from Heaven?
Oh, that was
That was Benny
that was Benny
Sarasso.
Sarasso
Used
with
to.
When he had
the gas lamp
Gas light tap, or gas house tap,
gas
down there
something
on
tap.
where the
When-
Potawatomi is
When we
now.
worked at the tavern, Uncle Tommy's tavern, we had Popeye Stark.
Yeah.
He used to come in by the alley there. He had a driveway between the two buildings, and he had the
garage.
garage, and then he had the fort. We had a fort up at the top there.
Up in the loft, yeah.
And Popeye would come in and he'd knock on the door, and we'd hand him Lucky Strikes.
Was he the guy with one eye?
Yeah,
He had a distorted face.
And we used to go down into the tunnel. You know, we had a creek running through our property. Remember that creek run through the property?
Remember the creek in the parking lot?
And then
you went in.
went in there, and then it went down the street. Went down the street, and then turned into the bank.
Remember the bridge? The bridge where the TMER terminal was here.
Yeah.
And then that bridge over the Fox River.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and Wilbur Lumber Company was there.
That was on the left side. Yeah.
I always thought
Yeah.
I always thought that's where the Greek guy was fishing or in the tunnel or something, and he found it. He said, "How did that frog know I was
No,
Greek?"
Oh,
Dad took him. Him and Bassa,
Oh.
John Bassa. He took him to where the hell was that name of it?
Some lake, wasn't it?
Out on Double X. There's a pond over there.
Quantico? No.
Before you get to McQuantico.
Uh-huh.
What the hell's the name of that place? Anyhow, he'd take them over there and at nighttime, and they would fish. And then when Dad closed up the tavern, he went and picked them up. And when Mike got in the car, Mike the Greek got in the car, he says, "Sam," he says, "them frogs are smart." And my dad says, "Well, what do you mean they're smart?" He says, "Yes, they're smart." He says, "How did that frog know I'm Greek?"
Frog, right?
Yeah, Greek. How'd that frog know I'm Greek?
The other one I always laughed at was it Bassa that came in all with white pants and white.
No, that was John Tribakowski.
Yeah, and he came in and you said something about, "Where do you think you're going?" He said, "Today I'm going to deliver a baby."
Yeah, he'd come in tavern.
Drunker in hell.
He's all jumped up. He's all white. He got white. He painted. He had a white shirt on, white pants, white shoes, and he'd walk in and he'd strut in, He made big entrance and danced around and pivoted, stuff like that. And he said, that's when he said, "Today I'm going to deliver a baby."
Idiot.
We had some characters. We had Mike the Greek.
Oh, great.
We had Bassa. We had the Sidewinder. We had the Willings.
How old
Where-
We had Snapper. Remember Snapper? He had a big belly. He looked like Quasimodo.
And Bernhard, the German.
Oh,
That was the name.
that was Manteuffel. Herman Manteuffel.
No,
He wore that cap, that black cap.
no, this is another German. He hardly spoke English.
No, there was Frank Klatt. There was Bill Weber.
Yeah.
There was Hank Arndt. And there was a guy by the name of Thompson. And Al Shank.
Yeah, Al.
Al Shank, he did the taxes for a lot of guys.
Mm-hmm.
And Ed Cook, he worked for the sheriff's department.
Mm-hmm.
At one time,
Well, you ought to know. You had the.
yeah,
they all
at
lived
one
in the
at
hotel.
one time, the guy that had the least amount of time as a roomer had 10 years there. The guy that was there the longest had 31 years. He stayed in
Imagine, yeah.
31 years.
Who was it?
That was
My
Ed
dad.
Cook.
Was it Ed?
Yeah.
My dad and Joe took care of all of them.
Yeah.
How old were you when you first started working with Daddy?
Well, at that time when I stole down over the Metropolitan,
I didn't ask you that.
He got me down. He got me down the tavern. I said that was maybe about 10 years old.
I think I was in high school because I remember going down to that damn cooler down in the basement to put a
Beer.
new tap in, and those were half barrels.
You had to bring them up
You had
the
to
cellar.
You roll them down the cellar to the foot of the stairs.
One at a time.
One step at a time.
One time.
You pull this thing up. The wooden stairs were eroded from
Yeah.
constant abrasion of bringing up these
bring up
barrels.
those barrels, huh?
Each step had a little bit of an arc on it from rubbing with a barrel.
When, as I remember,
And you got smart. You put a tap
when
in.
I took over in '54, I said to Dad, I said, "Hey, I got a guy that's designing me a new bar," and he said, "Oh," he says, "you're making a mistake." He says, "You're going to spend all this money." He says, "This is just a neighborhood bar." He says, "You can't make it too fancy." I says, "What difference does it make? It isn't costing the guys anything. I'm charging the same prices." And he said, well, I don't think you're, so I was, diagramming, and finally I had a guy come in and he designed it, and I had it real nice. I had a nice bar in there, and I had nice booths, all leather booths of tables in front of it and stuff like that. And the first day that we opened up after it was completed, people were coming in, and everybody was interested in what we did and all that stuff. And they were coming in, and we had a bar full of people, and my dad was going around and says, yeah, how do you like this? He said, really nice. I had the guns for the soda water. I had an ice machine. I had all the coils put down, direct tap right down to the basement. You tapped the beer and it came up to the lines. I didn't have to ever carry a barrel up.
You brought the tavern into the 21st century.
And because I mean, it was something that really make a drink. If you had to make a highball, first of all, you'd have to get the glass and you come over to your place where your station. Then you had to open the thing, the cooler, take out the ice cubes, put them in the glass.
I remember that.
Then you had to lean over around the bar to pick up the booze and pour the drink. Put the thing back. Then you had to reach in the cooler and put the soda water in.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
talk about a lot of motion.
you could take 10 glasses, put them on here, and put the ice in there, and boom, 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 boom with the gun.
Yeah.
He was real proud of that. Then he always said.
He took credit for it, huh?
Oh yeah. Then when one time he says, he said to me, that fire escape, where the fire escape was on the second floor? He says, you ought to put a canopy over there. I says, if that was such a great idea, why didn't you do it? Dad.
Why a canopy?
I don't know, because we used to go out there and shake the mop when we clean the rooms.
Oh, protection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He cleaned those rooms every day. Every day.
Oh, I know it.
Made the beds. Changed the
sheets
linen every week.
Yeah.
Changed the linen. Went through every room every morning, emptied the waste paper baskets, cleaned the rooms, swept them underneath the beds and dusted them and all that stuff. Cleaned the toilets.
I remember Harley Williams saying there wasn't a cleaner place in town.
Oh, no way.
He did all that with work clothes. He had even his undershirt. And then when he was through, he always had a shirt and tie.
Yeah, well, we always tended by with a shirt, white shirt and tie, and an apron.
And
remember that apron?
Apron they went around.
Yeah.
Who was the bartender? Was that Dominic?
Well, Dominic was one.
Well, that was in the early years, way before we did anything with him.
Oh.
Yeah, but when we were there, Hank Arndt was a bartender, and Paul Schultz.
Yeah.
Remember Paul Schultz?
Yeah, I remember Paul.
And then Hank Dressel attended bar for Dad too, and Hank worked across the street at the mill.
At the mill, yeah, feed mill.
And
in those days, 99% of the bar business was a shot
and a beer.
And a beer chaser.
Yeah,
shot and a beer chaser. You never had a mixed drink. Rarely did you have
Daddy
a
told about the time he wanted a screwdriver.
One time a couple came in, and the girl ordered a screwdriver. And my dad went around the bar and he opened the drawer and he gave her a screwdriver. He didn't know what a screwdriver was.
But he was serious. He wasn't doing it.
He didn't know what a screwdriver was. He didn't know how to make a drink. He didn't know how to make a Tom Collins or anything like that.
Because nobody ordered
shot of beer. That's all he ever drank. And it was all top shelf. A lot of them drank, bonded. They had I.W. Harper. They had
Old Granddad,
B&G or whatever. Old Granddad.
Remember the one bottle of what was it, Rock and Rye?
Oh no, not Rock and Rye. It had that vermouth and had that weed in there.
Yeah, but there was one with fruit in it. I think it was Rock and Rye.
Rock and Rye had the fruit in. Yeah.
I think that sat there for years.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Touched.
And then he had that other one that had the weed in it.
Yeah.
And that was real bitter. If you had a stomach ache and you drank that, a shot of that, stomach ache would go right away.
I don't remember what that was, but yeah.
Wasn't that Rock and Rye?
No, that wasn't Rock and Rye.
It was kind of a sweet.
There's sugars.
It was sweet.
Yeah.
We
And
used
it had a
to,
fruit in it, like a pear or orange or something in there.
I remember going ice skating down to, what's the name of the park? Barstow Park?
Barstow
Pond
Street
and
Park,
Where
everything.
that
where the
slippery.
pond was.
And before we went, we'd go through the bar and we'd get a little shot of rock and rye.
Oh.
Yeah.
We used
Is
to,
everything all right?
Remember that pond?
we went to
Did you swim in that?
Public
that
school.
pool?
Sure.
a grade school at Barstow Street. And Barstow Street at that time was St. Paul Avenue, and then St. Paul Avenue went as far as there was a little park,
Barstow Park.
and then it dogleg to the left, and then it was Barstow Street, and Barstow School was right here, and then right across the street from Barstow School was that
Like
pond,
a little
and,
park.
and
Oval pool.
oval pool, and it was so slimy
By the end
that
of the
if you got down into the middle of the pool, you couldn't get back up because you slide right back down.
Slide right back.
Somebody had to get a pole and pull you up.
That was before they heard of chlorine or.
Yeah,
algae
they didn't have that
cover.
stuff.
Talk
And they
about
had the
Talk about
Sheeny.
cryptosporidium.
The Sheeny lived across the street there. Remember, he
Oh,
used
yeah,
to come with the horse and the buggy.
Horse-drawn
And
wagon.
and we used to steal tires from Uncle Tommy. He had tires in the garage. We used to steal tires, take them to the Sheeny, and he'd get 2 cents. He'd give us 2 cents for a tire. And these were nice tires. And then at night we climb over the fence and we steal the tires back.
No, those are two that draw.
They call them Sheenies.
Yeah, that's what they were called.
They were
called
sheenies,
sheenies.
yeah.
I don't know how
I don't know
where the
where
word originated, but
That was for Jewish people.
it was a
called
Yeah,
Jewish,
sheeny.
yeah.
it was a Jewish word.
Yeah.
You tell them the story about when you took
Hang on,
Uncle
hang on.